If you ever walk out of a discovery call thinking something like, hey, that was okay, but to be honest, I have no idea where this deal is going and what I have to do next, then this video is going to hit hard on you and you must watch till the end. I'm about to hand you a 6-question proven system that will instantly change how buyers see you, how your prospect understands you, and how fast you can move your deal forward. And again, this is not just some kind of fancy theory, it's been battle tested in sales cycles from 2 to 6 months and from $5,000 to $500,000 deals. This unique system helped Egidio and over 100 other sellers transform their discovery calls from basic interviews where no one is paying attention to you into powerful, high-impact conversations, driving thousands of dollars in pipeline and closed deals. And again, you have to stick with me. I'm about to break down the system, the exact process and step-by-step that we follow, so you will learn how to use it, why it works, and how it can turn you into a trusted seller and a top performer in less than 30 days. A while back, I thought I was the best at discovery calls, mainly because I was having some genuine conversations with my prospects. The problem was that I was asking the usual questions, those superficial ones like, what are your goals and pains? What's your timeline? Tell me about your budget, or even what are the challenges that you're going through? And then I smiled a lot, I took some notes, I said yes to everything that they were telling to me, but my deals, they were small, they were slow, and they were stuck. So that's when I built a 6-question system that changed my whole performance. Even I remember the first time I used it, the buyer and the prospect literally told me, hey Alan, no one's ever asked me this before. Let's bring in my VP into the next conversation. That deal closed for 3x my average deal size, and that's when I knew that these 6 questions are a real superpower. Here's the thing. You don't need a better deck, more slides, or even a sexier demo when you are running a discovery call in order to make it in a better way. You need better questions, because when you are asking the right questions at the right time, 3 things will happen. First, you will unlock some urgency. Second, you will expose some hidden problems that your prospect might be facing at that time. And third, you will get invited up the chain, involving some other stakeholders earlier in the process. So if you're relying on some surface level fluff like what keeps you up night, then you're leaving deals and dollars over the table. Let me walk you through how these questions works, each one by one, with examples that you can start using today. Remember, you can grab all the templates and examples in the link below in this video. And for the sake of the video and the examples, I will be acting as a seller of an expense management tool targeting CFOs. Let's jump into the question number 1. Question number 1, it's called instant credibility. And it sounds something like this. I speak with finance leaders like you every single day, and the top 3 things I hear are hours wasted chasing receipts, surprises spent creeping into budgets, and no real-time view of cash flow across departments. So now I'm curious, how much of that reflects your word and what would you add? Now let me tell you why this works really good. First of all, it establishes you as a peer and not as a vendor. The second main thing is that you reduce every friction by giving them something to respond to. And third, it triggers more detail through correction or clarification. And this is how Egidio used this to quickly build trust and get his prospect opening up within the first 60 seconds of the conversation. Remember, this question gets you out of the vendor box and into the trusted expert seat. The second question, as we call it, clarify the win. Let's jump into the example. You mentioned visibility is key. Are we talking 10% better reporting or 30 or 40% improvement in real-time spend accuracy? Why this works? Let me walk you through. 3 main things. First, it forces specificity and clarity. The second point, it anchors your urgency to a measurable outcome. And third, it gives you a reference point to drive follow-ups and ROI conversations later on in the next steps. What happened with this question? Egidio uncovered a goal to improve visibility by 32% by Q1 2025, which became basically his anchor throughout the whole deal. This question turns vague interest or vague conversations into clear, actionable, and measurable urgency. Question number 3, it's called the hidden reason. And the example looks something like this. You mentioned automated approvals, and that's usually something tied to some kind of friction. So I'm curious, is there any specific process or team having issues there? And you stop. So let me tell you the 3 main reasons why this question is so powerful and how you can use it. First of all, it prevents you from pitching too early before uncovering the real reason they might have in their company. The second thing, it helps uncover emotional or operational pressure within the whole process. And third, separates curiosity from genuine need from their side. You need to understand what's the real reason in order to make sure that you are pitching the right solution. Now let's jump into question number 4, or how we call it, find the fire. The example looks something like, reducing spend is clearly top of mind, Alan. Was there any recent budget review, internal audit, or shift in leadership that made this urgent? Why this works so good? Let me tell you the 3 main things. The first one, it surfaces the recent trigger that changed priorities. Could be, as we were asking in the question, either a budget review, an internal audit, any milestone that is going on throughout the company, or even something that happened within the leadership. The second main point, it helps you align your timing with theirs. Again, you don't want to pitch too early. And the third one, it adds emotional or strategic urgency into the conversation because you are diving deeper into specific pains and what's going on in the company in order to move forward to pitch your solution. Remember, this question tells you why now and why it matters. Now, question number 5, or as I call it, measure the ripple effect. Let me walk you through the example. Sometimes the finance team feels the pain, but in order to make a real change, it has to be aligned with some C-level goals. So I'm curious here, does this map to any broader OKRs like efficiency or profitability? Now let's understand why this works really well. The first main reason is that it tells you how strategic the issue really is internally. The second main thing is that identifies additional departments and stakeholders that you can involve them early in the process. And the third thing is that sets you up for multi-threading the deal right away. And this is how basically Egidio discovered that the CFO's focus was connected to a company-wide profitability OKR, which basically helped him bring in the revenue leadership team on board early in the process. Again, this question helps you spot if this is a real priority, if this is a must-have, or just a nice-to-have that you will never ever sell. Jumping into the last question of this system, that is question number 6, as I call it, uncover advocates and enemies. Let me walk you through how this looks like. When tools like this touches multiple teams, there's usually excitement and hesitation at the same time. So I'm curious, how do you think the sales teams, either ops teams, or even the IT team might respond if this moves forward? Then we need to understand why this works really well and why it's crucial for you to ask this question. The first thing is that identifies likely blockers before they appear. You need to be proactive and understand what could be a potential blocker throughout the full sales cycle. The second main thing, it gives you insight into internal influence and politics. You need to be sure that you know all the influencers, all the champions, and everyone inside the buying process. And lastly, it helps you proactively manage objections throughout the whole sales cycle and the negotiation. These questions will make you unstoppable because will help you to move your deals faster, your deals forward, and to close bigger and faster deals throughout the sales process. It will help you to become the top performer within your organization as soon as you start using them. In fact, last quarter alone, Gabriel added just question 1 to his process, and this helped him cut his sales cycle in half in just 30 days. On the other side, we have Krishna that started using questions 2, question 4, and question 5 and duplicated his conversion rates in less than 5 weeks, moving forward plus 100K worth of pipeline. Again, these questions aren't nice to have that you can ask it now and then. They are the difference between average and stoppable, as I was saying before. Now it's time for you to act. Tell me in the comments, which question are you trying the first and why? Forward this to some colleague or friend who's stuck asking weak discovery questions and suffering throughout the process. And lastly but not least, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications because next week we are going to launch a playbook that is fire. And remember, you don't need to work harder, you just need to ask smarter. 6 questions, bigger leads. Let's go. See you in the next one.